And so diet actually can help with a lot of things. But for the purpose of this conversation, we're going to talk about how diet can help improve, help decrease actually post-cessation weight gain, how it can reduce our cravings, how it can help with that hand-to-mouth motion, help us focus on help provide some focus to our everyday, and help reduce headaches, especially with hydration. So as we know, having a really great diet, or just a healthy diet in general, fuels our body day to day. So what we put in is actually how we're going to feel. It helps prevent disease and dysfunction, so helping that risk of having a vitamin D deficiency and feeling lethargic, helps maintain our weight, and really just kind of helps us curb our appetite. So the first thing you really need to be aware of is that nicotine and metabolism go hand in hand. When a user stops smoking, their metabolism slows down. When a user is smoking, it actually inhibits their metabolism. So not inhibits, it inhibits their appetite here. So they don't feel that they're hungry. So they're getting this nicotine, and it increases their energy expenditure, and they really experience like lower body weights compared to someone who doesn't smoke. And they decrease their food appetite, their food intake, because they have a decrease in the appetite in general. So and they might have some alternative eating patterns as well, which we'll get into in a little bit. So nicotine-induced weight loss is a result of two things here. And I'm not going to go through this whole chart, but I just want you to be aware of the changes that happen here. So the first thing that happens is that nicotine actually reduces the appetite signaling into the hypothalamus. So that's in our brain. So the hypothalamus is a key regulator of food intake and energy balance. So basically what happens is AMP kinase releases a hormonal and nutritional signals to the hypothalamus. In this, basically what it'll do is it curates our energy to have like a homeostasis. It helps regulate our feeding patterns, our circadian rhythm, and really just our overall energy expenditure in general. So this gets released to the brain, and it releases these signals, and it tells us that we're not really that hungry, and we don't need as much food. And so this increase in energy expenditure increases our locomotive activity. It increases our thermogenesis, so the brown adipose tissue, and it also alterates like how we utilize different fuels in our body. So how do we utilize fat? How do we utilize carbohydrates and things like that as we break down? So it's important to note with users, especially to normalize weight gain here, and just give them to be really honest and let them know that like weight gain potentially can occur. So most weight gain occurs within the first 6 months or so, and they can gain anywhere between 10 to 15 pounds, and there's been a significant increase in BMI by at least 1 point. Within an 8-year period, smokers will continue to gain weight, again, upwards to 20 pounds. And it's important to note that if a pivoter is already overweight, they may have a likelihood of gaining more weight. In fact, 2/3 of our population are actually overweight or obese, so the risk for gaining more weight is actually higher. Now, within a year, smokers' weight returns to the same weight age trajectory observed in non-smokers. Another thing that happens is when you smoke, it actually affects the composition of our internal microbiotic system. And so this shift actually, compacted with a poor dietary intake, influences post-cessation weight gain. In fact, our gut houses 2/3 of our immune system. It extracts energy and produces more than 20 unique hormones. It's also linked directly to our nervous system. That's why you hear about the gut-brain connection. Smoking affects this composition, and this composition actually causes inflammation in response to our digestive tract and greatly impacts onset diseases as well. But not only do they gain weight, but there's also a reason behind some of this weight gain, not only because of the metabolism actually slowing down, but also there's some different patterns that smokers experience as well. So smokers tend to have a higher total energy intake. They tend to have higher fat intake and alcohol and lower intakes of fiber, fatty acids, as well as vitamin C and E and beta carotenes. So the combination of a higher intake of cholesterol and saturated fats and a lower intake of fiber and fatty acids puts them at greater risk for heart disease, cancer, and weight gain. Smokers may also need a higher requirement of some micronutrients, particularly vitamin C. And as we know, vitamin C helps repair and regenerate tissues, protects us against heart disease, it aids in the absorption of iron, it prevents scurvy, it decreases our total cholesterol and our LDL, as well as our triglycerides. Research has also indicated that vitamin C may help to protect against various cancers by combating free radicals and helping neutralize the effects of nitrates. Also to note here that smokers are replacing food with that higher reward system need. So that dopamine release isn't happening there. So that's why they're tending to eat more of those fatty foods and those sugars, all contributing to this overall lower quality food selection and unhealthy eating patterns, which again attributes to their increase in weight gain compacted by the slower metabolism. Again, it's really important to note here to refer back to the scope here. We're not nutritionists, we're not dietitians, you're not a personal trainer. Even if you do have those skill sets, maintaining that scope of practice here, their focus really should be on helping the user quit smoking. So it's important to normalize with them that, yes, smoking potentially quitting will cause them to slower their metabolism. They may need to change up that hand to mouth with something a bit more healthier. So rather than putting in food that's like fatty foods and sugars, maybe incorporating healthier alternatives like drinking more water, helping them maintain some of those food cravings, as well as just normalizing weight gain and talking about the benefits of quitting smoking outweighing the benefits of gaining a few pounds, and helping them figure out different coping mechanisms and skills around how to incorporate other healthier patterns of eating. Now, it's really important here, again, we're going to focus a bit more on weight management in a later section, particularly focusing on women in weight management, but some questions you can start with the pivoter are really just getting a really good understanding of their lifestyle in general. So understanding their sleeping patterns. Sleeping also impacts weight. Understanding if they're incorporating exercise. Understanding how they're eating. All of those play a role in their weight management. Having them identify how the weight impacts their life. How does it make them feel? Do they have a positive or negative body image? And then exploring their confidence around setting new behavioral goals and what is their priority for incorporating healthier eating habits at this time. And if it's high, helping them find actionable steps that are realistic. So not losing 20 pounds in 2 weeks, but how can they incorporate healthier patterns so that they can start to lose that weight if they do gain it in a very conservative and practical and healthy form.